Welcome to the Alain Elkann interviews, an unprecedented window into the minds of some of the most well-known and respected figures of the last 25 years.
Okay, John Jay, you met Mr. Tadashi Yanai, the founder and creator of Uniqlo. How many years ago?
1990.
Very beginning.
1998. At the time, they had no store in Tokyo. Their headquarters were in Yamaguchi Prefecture.
And you were working...
I was the founder I opened Wieden & Kennedy, Tokyo, which is, I opened the first Asia office for the agency Wieden & Kennedy, which is headquartered in Portland, Oregon, which is probably most famous for Nike. It's been its agency since the beginning, the agency that created Just Do It, of course. And I was the creative director for Nike account. And then I decided to move to Tokyo to open Wieden & Kennedy Tokyo. When I arrived, I very much wanted local clients. I did not want to open a Western-owned agency that only serviced Western clients or international clients. In order to be a good citizen of Japan, I needed to work with Japanese CEOs, Japanese brands. And Mr. Yanai was my first client, my first Japanese client.
It was called Uniqlo at the time?
It was called Uniqlo, headquartered in Yamaguchi Prefecture.
And what did you do?
Well, we were given the assignment of making fleece a popular item, to really popularize fleece, which was one of their core items. That was the first assignment. So, a little bit of contextual background at that time. Casual clothing was not for everyone in Japan. Casual clothing was for young people. Casual, stylish clothing was for young people. So, one of the first chores was to democratize casual clothing, make it available, but make it desirable and make it appropriate for everyone. That's hard to understand in the West, where casual clothing, your father wears jeans and that's not the way it was in a more formal society.
It was not in Japan.
No. So khakis, denim, those kinds of things were only for young people. So when you think about, again, the context of all this, when you say democratize clothing, democratize casual clothing, it seems so strange, but not in the context of Japan. The other thing you have to realize, casual clothing as a concept didn't exist in Japan. The concept of clothing did not exist in Japan until Admiral Perry opened up the country. So kimonos were the traditional wear of men and women. So this
until when?
Until Japan opened itself to the world, to the West. So this idea of separates and all of these things of ready to wear, that idea did not exist. The coordination did not exist. The very concept of clothing in Western terms did not exist. So what does that give you? It gives you, what does exist is that it gives you the ability, from our DNA, to look at clothing, each item on its own, to look at everything as a component. Therefore, when we use it as a component, we study it as a component, we're able to make it better and better and better. We focus on that sweater, we focus on pants, and keep making it better.
And they have to be perfect.
Well, that's the goal. That's the goal. Maybe not overnight, but over time, that's the...
And where do you manufacture them?
Well, a lot of our factories are in China, but we manufacture in multiple countries around the world. But clearly, the bulk are still in Asia.
How many shops do you have now?
2,500.
In the world?
Yeah.
Which is your number one client, number one place?
Japan and China, of course.
You have shops in China?
Many.
And United States?
Yes.
But you only have New York, no?
No. We have Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Boston, Washington, D.C., Florida.
And you are in how many countries nowadays?
I think 22.
Including Japan.
Now, you are here to open
Milano.
Yes. And then in October, Madrid, no?
Yeah, but we're also in New York.
You open New York also?
No, we're opening in Delhi and Vietnam coming soon. In the next few months, I don't know exactly the date.
Are they all different launches for different countries?
Well, this is what Mr. Nye was referring to about the power of lifewear. It's the same philosophy, same clothes for the most part, that is being sold throughout the world. And so when you think
Same
about
philosophy,
same clothes, basically the same clothes. Lifewear is the same around the world. Now, will there be a
Lifewear.
Lifewear is the clothing that we make. So if Uniqlo is the brand, Lifewear is the philosophy of what we make. It is the actual clothing that we make. So everything that we make is under the umbrella of Lifewear.
And what is the key of the success? Price and quality?
Combination of that, of course. The value, in the biggest way they describe it, is value in the biggest way, which means affordability but relevance. It has value to your life. It actually solves problems in your life. It helps to make your life better. So it's not just an affordable price. That is not the point. The point is to make high quality clothes that deliver very high value.
Style, quality?
Yeah, style is part of it, of course, and certainly not dependent on fashion.
But you used fashion design.
Of course, we would be blind. Fashion is important to observe and it makes contributions, but we do not take our inspirations from the runways. We do not take our inspiration from big trends, from overnight trends. We take all of our inspiration from the feedback that we get from the people who are our customers and people around the world. So that's why Milan is so important to us, because what we will learn from this culture through its people will be invaluable in terms of the development of future product.
But you talk about casual, right?
Mm-hmm.
Casual is today, doesn't exist anymore.
In what sense? In that you think
people dress in jeans, they dress in t-shirts, they dress in jumpers to go to work, all the time.
so? You mean everything is casual today?
I mean, more or less.
Yeah.
I mean, what is more casual maybe today is
Right.
sportswear, where people are jogging, or yoga, or this kind of thing.
So I think,
But in working life, your cashmere,
but you still wear jacket. There still are certain business attire that's still appropriate, right? And so, but I think what you bring up is a very interesting point, and I would say that what we are doing, whether consciously or not, is evolving the idea of clothes, the evolution of clothes themselves, which means removing them from their strict silos and removing them from their traditional silos and allowing the people to define how the clothes are going to be worn and used. So if there is such a thing as the evolution of clothes or evolving the concept of clothes, we're certainly trying to do that, because we're not listening, we're not paying attention to the traditional categories. So your point about everything is casual today is speaking to that a little bit.
And what are you trying to do? Why cashmere?
Well, because it's a great expression of value for us. It has all those things. Emotional color, touch. Our cashmere is amazing to touch. The price is extraordinary. The quality is extraordinary. So in one product, it embodies so much of our principles. The fact that we did 50 colors for the launch of this store, 50 colors. Normally you try to cut down. Most retailers would try to only make the key colors, the most sellable colors. Here we're trying to show our expression, to express our appreciation for the style of the Milanese and offer more colors, because we know that color is highly emotional.
This is only for the Milanese?
Yes.
So it's a special production?
Yeah.
Because the two jumpers are black, blue and gray.
Well, those are the best-selling ones, but obviously the world needs more than that.
What is so special in your jeans?
Well, you need to try them on and see. We have a huge variety, but first, from a sustainability standpoint, we built a research and R&D lab in Los Angeles to really understand how we can be more sustainable in the making of denim and jeans. So that's ongoing, and we've put a lot of effort into that. But on the other hand, the kind of fabrics that we use, the finishes that we have, the touch of our jeans, it's hard to explain. You need to just try some of them on, because the touch, the stretch, the comfort, I would say, I guess it all comes down, the look and the comfort, and then you look at the price. The look and the comfort. Obviously, jeans are very individual taste.
The jeans are very competitive.
That as well. That as
I mean,
well.
to do jeans, everybody does jeans.
That's right.
you know?
Yeah, that's right. But we need to do jeans better.
And t-shirts and shirts.
Well, obviously, those are basics of any wardrobe, but we've become a great champion of the t-shirt. We're world famous for our UT t-shirt line, which is we work with the Museum of Modern Art, with their artists on artist collaborations. We work with many contemporary artists. We work with the top entertainment companies like Pixar, Disney, Marvel. So the t-shirt has become almost a blank canvas for us in terms of showing our appreciation for popular culture.
Then Ultralight Down is a big bestseller, no?
Yes,
And
ULD. Everyone calls it ULD.
And you are very strong because of the price on that?
With the technology. It's warmer, but lighter. So what this makes possible so that you can go outside in the cold weather and not feel bulky and having to have many layers to stay warm. So it's warmer, but yet lighter. And then on the third part is that it's packable. It's that you're able to put it into a little pouch.
Obviously, everybody is trying to do this also, no? All the various differences that if Montclair costs a fortune, this costs very little, right?
Right. And the other thing is that I won't go into details today, but if you go through the history, look at some of the comparative, when outside sources are comparing our product to other brands, whether it's cashmere, whether it's a ULD, other products, polo shirts. There was a big research project a few years ago in France about the best polo shirts. We were number one at this price, and we were competing against people 5 times more expensive. So the quality part is hugely important, and that's part of our innovation.
What is important, you said?
The quality part is important. That's part of our constant
but
innovation.
You believe that your quality is much better than Zara or Benetton or...
Well, we would not be in business if we didn't believe that. Of course we do. Of course we do. But we have to start with one premise, and I know that our holding company name can be confusing because it's called Fast Retailing. And Mr. and I made that name because he wanted to be quick to respond.
Fast Retailing is what?
It's the holding company that... We have many other brands other than Uniqlo, but Uniqlo obviously is the big one. Mm-hmm. But fast retailing was coined by Mr. and I to put, his goal is to be responsive to the marketplace, responsive to the consumer, the changing consumer. What that confuses people with is that they think of fast fashion as Uniqlo, and we are anything but fast fashion. How can I say that confidently? Never will we make disposable clothing. Never. Clothing that you make inexpensive so that you can throw it away tomorrow night and get another one.
You mean your cashmeres or your...
We want things to last a long time.
Anoraks,
they last a long time.
Yeah.
Now, are they the top? It's hard to compete against something that's $1,000, of course. But in terms of, again, I go back to value, the highest possible value.
And who are your clients?
Everyone. That's the other part that's different. We respect everyone from the beginning. So Made for All is the tagline for
Made
our company.
for All
is our company. From the very beginning, it started with Made for All.
It's quite classic.
It is classic.
Are the young people attracted?
Yes, of course. That's the secret to our success.
And then you do a lot of socks, underwear, all this kind of thing.
And with a lot of technology in the underwear area.
There you compete with Calvin Klein and all
everyone.
That. And are you going better and better?
Are we getting...
for instance, they're friends, but Benetton is going a little bit out of fashion, right? Or they had to change everything, because he talked about United Colors of Benetton. This is 1,000 years ago. And obviously when they started, it was a big revolution.
We're quite successful, I would say that. We're quite successful.
All over the world?
All over the world, yes. But we have a long ways to go.
So you have many other places where you want to open?
Well, we only opened one in Italy today, so we have a lot of work to do.
Why Milano?
Because it's the source of inspiration for us. It is a fashion capital. But it's more than that, it's a cultural capital. Obviously design and all of those, art. It's very inspiring to us.
And you will open in Rome?
Well, we'll see. We better do well here first, but Today's we're not even open yet. Tomorrow we open. So
People like to go, Italians told me, oh, what a pity they opened in Milan. We like to go to London.
we hear that all the time.
You heard
Yeah.
that.
Yes. But listen, we want to come to you, and selfishly, we have a lot to learn from you. We have a lot of inspiration that we want to, this Japanese-Italian culture exchange is one thing to do it through art institutions, another thing to do it through business, where we can invite young talent and discover young talent and collaborate like we're doing here in this store with other retailers and other designers in the neighborhood. So how do we show our support for the neighborhood, for the local community, is very important.
Who did this shop? Japanese architect?
Internal.
You have Olympic Games in Tokyo, they'll have Olympic Games in Milan. This will be a big, you will do special things for Olympic Games?
Well, obviously it's in our hometown, so we will be doing many things, not necessarily specifically for the Olympics, but we will be doing specific things for lifewear.
And the sportswear?
That's part of what we make, of course. But many of the things that traditionally people call sportswear are everyday wear for us. And that's a little bit, and you kind of talked about this, but the blurring of the lines between these definitions, but it's going away.
You said that in Japan nobody was dressing like this before. This was 25 years ago?
Casual apparel was not universal for everyone. It was mostly for young. Casual apparel like denim and cargo pants and things like that were all for young people.
What happens today?
Now it's more democratic, hopefully through our efforts.
And this is all over Asia?
Yes, I think so. But in Japan in particular. But I think all over Asia.
So Japan is opening?
The doorway? Well, we'd like to think so, but we have many stores in China, and we're learning a lot of things from China.
Are you very concerned by this vegan, ecological movement that is obviously very popular in California and all over the world? I mean, by the quality of the things and all that.
Well, we need to, obviously, all issues that relate to health and well-being and are things that we need to learn about and know more about. It's too early to say whether we're concerned or not, but I think anything that forces us to learn and make better product, we need to listen.
What did you personally do for all this?
For all of this?
What is your role? I mean, what do you do?
Well, anything creative, I'm supposed to have a touch on it. So, I worked on specifically the marketing and the advertising, but I do much more than just marketing and advertising. So, I'm in consultation with the architects and everyone else.
Architects for all the stores.
But the simple answer is in marketing and advertising. That's an easy answer, but my job is much more complex than that.
But did you find, for instance, Inès de la Fessence or Gilles Saint?
That was before me. Before I joined.
Why did you join?
Very good question. Because I saw an unbelievable opportunity to do something new and fresh and to stretch my creativity. Now, I will end with this, there's a little bit of context to that answer. You have to remember where I was from. I was working with the #1 creative agency in the world, bar none, Wieden & Kennedy. If you do survey on what agency would creative people want to work at, I'm talking about advertising agency, clearly it's Wieden & Kennedy. Clearly it's Wieden & Kennedy. And yet, I left that partnership to join Mr. Yanai because of his vision. I've had the great fortune of working with iconic leaders, visionary leaders throughout my career. And I just saw him as the next one that I could associate myself with.
So now you are inside the
Yes,
group,
I'm inside.
And you left the agency.
Yeah, right.
And you live in Tokyo.
A combination, I live in 3 cities, Tokyo, Portland, and New York. And I have offices in all 3, and homes in all 3.
Alain Elkann interviews.